You're defending a woman in her 20s who's happily married, who wants to carry on with her career, having an abortion.
Yeah.
That's what you're actually defending.
Yeah. In order to repeal that, in order to revamp the law, I think will just unleash chaos.
This is a difficulty because I technically agree with you. However, that is a shit argument.
You want to do abortion? All right, let's do it. Hi, my name is Peter.
Hiya.
That's Francis. That's Konstantin.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. All right, so I'm going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Abortion is a serious issue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Okay, everybody is strongly agreeing. I'm going to do the next claim. Abortion should be legal in the first trimester. Move.
Should be legal. Should be legal.
Should be legal in the first trimester.
Yeah.
Reed, should we do the... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Abortion should be legal in the second trimester.
Mate, this is such
For any reason. Abortion should be legal in the...
any reason.
Yeah, abortion should be legal in the second trimester for any reason.
Any reason.
For any reason.
Basically, you're saying elective abortion should be legal.
Yeah, any
Up to
reason you want.
anything.
That's correct.
Okay.
So second trimester, point of clarification, is how long?
Between 3 and 6 months.
Yeah, correct.
Between 3 and 6 months.
This is past the point of viability. Would that be right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
That's my understanding. Okay. Abortion should be legal in the third trimester.
For any reason.
For any reason, any reason whatsoever. Okay. Abortion should be legal in the first trimester. First trimester. Legal in the first trimester. Okay. Why do you think it should... Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Should be legal in the first trimester.
Write down in one sentence what your reason is, but don't let anybody see it. I can see it, but don't let him see it.
No. Near Birmingham, that sort of way.
Oh, I
In the middle of the country.
All right, you ready, dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if this is strong
Okay,
enough
don't.
reason.
Okay, but it's your best reason, right?
You're going to turn him around by the end of this.
What do you think his best reason is for abortion to be legal in the first trimester? What is... Now, Francis, you have to listen to see if she's correct. Take a guess what you think his best reason is.
I think it's going to be something about how bodily autonomy for women.
Bodily autonomy for women. Is it bodily autonomy for women? Don't say what it is.
Sort of, yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, sort of, or yeah?
Is it bodily autonomy? Yes, it is bodily autonomy, yeah.
Okay. Don't show him.
Yeah.
What do you think her best reason is for being against abortion in the first trimester?
It's a killing of innocent life.
Is he correct?
To a certain extent.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much... Okay, so this is excellent. So you understand his argument. So you turn around and show it to him. You not agree with it, but do you understand it?
I understand it, yeah.
And do you understand, not agree? Okay, I'm going to grab these. What would it take you...
Yeah.
What would either she have to tell you or you have to learn to move you to the agree? I'm going to ask you the same question, but to the disagree.
Okay.
One Matt, just one.
I don't think I can, and because I believe... Sorry, I forgot your name. Isabel. I believe Isabel's position is fundamentally an absolutist position, which is... And maybe I don't know this, but which is that it should always be if there is a child in the womb, or however you want to classify it, it should always be brought to, there is no excuse or no reason for abortion ever.
So what is preventing you from moving to the agree? What piece of information? And again, I'm going to ask you the exact same questions. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to you first.
Sorry.
So what would you have to learn to move you to the disagree?
Nothing, because I've already looked into this subject and I know human life begins at conception, and I know that every human life has value.
Okay. What would you say to someone on that end who is unwilling to move?
I think it would be worth looking at the impact of abortion on women, because I think often that position, and I don't mean to make obviously any judgments about, sorry, I've forgotten your name again. Francis's position, obviously I only know the statement he's written on that board, but I know a lot of people who I have discussed abortion with who say that they support abortion, think they're doing it to help women. And I work very closely with post-abortive organisations, and I realise that actually abortion doesn't really help women. It doesn't solve the initial problems that they've got. It can actually create much larger problems. To take the life of your child doesn't solve your problems.
If somebody is standing on that line and they are unwilling to move, does it strike you that the person, now we don't forget about Francis.
Yeah.
Does it strike you that the person is an extremist?
You'd have to quantify what you mean exactly.
Unwilling to change one's mind, independent of the evidence.
I don't know that he's unwilling to change it dependent on evidence.
Are you willing to change your mind on the basis of evidence to move to the agree?
Yeah, well, there's always, if there is something new that has been presented, which I have not thought about or I have not considered, then absolutely.
So you just don't know what the evidence is?
Yeah, so maybe, but I have never heard a good reason why a 14-year-old who is a victim of rape and has a child should be forced to carry that child, should be forced to give birth to that child.
Are you willing to change your mind about abortion in the first trimester if a new piece of evidence comes along that challenges a fundamental assumption you have?
That would be the equivalent of asking me whether I would change my mind about killing another innocent human being, because that's essentially what it is. Nothing can make me think killing human beings is a way to solve our problems.
What if someone could show you that life didn't begin at conception? Would you change your mind?
But I know it does. I've looked into it long and hard, and I quite definitely know it does.
Okay. You've been patiently listening to this.
Unusual for me.
Unusual for you. Is there anything that either one of them said that would push you to either the agree or neutral?
Well, for a start, I think the question was abortion for any reason. So his argument about rape doesn't work for me. Because what we're talking about here is a woman should be able to have an abortion for any reason, right? Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So that part is not actually correct, first of all.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. I agree that it's human life. In my opinion, abortion is a very, very bad thing, but to legalize it is a very ugly compromise that we make as a society.
Is it a compromise? Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was good. What did you think of that?
Good. Yeah, good. I wish we'd had more time because I thought it was going to get interesting.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. It's it's always good to hear the other side of the coin. I take on board what Konstantin said for any reason. I just think that when we talk about abortion, those are the aspects of it that I don't feel that get discussed enough.
No, but my point is, you are standing there. That means you are defending a woman's right to have an abortion in the first trimester strongly for any reason.
Yeah.
But the example you gave was an example of a 14-year-old who was raped, right? But that's not what you're defending.
Yeah. Okay.
You're defending a woman in her 20s who's happily married, who wants to carry on with her career having an abortion.
Yeah.
That's what you're actually defending.
Yeah, that's a good point. But actually, I would stay with that, because I feel that in order to repeal that, in order to revamp the law, I think will just unleash chaos. I don't think I as imperfect as our laws are with abortion, I think where we are is probably the best
compromise.
place. The compromise is the best place to be.
Well, this is a difficulty because I technically agree with you. However, that is a shit argument, in my opinion, even though I agree with it. Because when we are talking about human life, that is not a rule that we can really apply, right? Because that argument could have been made about slavery. I mean, America fought a civil war in which hundreds of thousands of people died over slavery, which is not as bad as murdering innocent children, right? So the argument that it will cause a lot of turmoil in society to overpeel a law does not really justify defending that law.
I think in this particular instance, I take your point, but I think the turmoil that it will unleash, in a society that is, let's be fair, is already ridden with enough turmoil.
Okay, but how many? Wait, hold on. But I actually agree, but I'm just saying. No, I agree with your position. What I'm saying, though, for both of us to think about is, when you're talking about taking innocent life, it's like how many innocent people would you be prepared to kill to avoid turmoil, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for example, an obvious example would be, is it okay to assassinate Donald Trump? Some people would argue he's not an innocent life because that would prevent the turmoil of the next. Like, no one find out.
But some people would argue he has the intelligence of a fetus, so...
Funny joke, but let's address the argument.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What would it take you to move to the agree, and what would it take you to move to the neutral? First, the agree.
What would it take me to move to the agree? I suppose if you could prove that a fetus at that point experiences no suffering whatsoever, has no consciousness, and is completely unviable outside the womb, then I would be more comfortable with the compromise, with the ugly compromise that we've talked about.
So give me one of those. So no pain.
No pain.
So let's say it didn't have pain receptors.
No pain.
Like if you were shown that it had no pain receptors.
No consciousness.
That would be hard to do. But let's say that we knew that the brain being fully formed, or not even fully formed, but the brain being, it wasn't even sentient, nevertheless conscious.
Yeah.
And what's the third one?
What did I say? Pain, consciousness, and viability.
And so let's say it's a horrible thing to say, but we know millions of abortions, or millions of women gave prematurely birth outside the womb. And none of them survived.
Yeah.
You would be willing to move to the agree?
Sure.
Okay.
If all those three things were true. Yeah.
What would cause you to move to the neutral?
I think the argument that I do find persuasive, and she's not the first person I've heard it from because we've interviewed people about both sides of this issue, is that in the vast majority of cases, it actually psychologically is very traumatizing for many, many women to have an abortion. So the argument that it prevents them from suffering is not that strong. And if that could be demonstrated more firmly, I would be prepared to move to neutral. In fact, I mean, my preference would be that abortions only really happen in like extraordinarily rare, horrific circumstances, rape, incest, terrible congenital disease, etc.
Let's do one. Humans without the capacity for consciousness are worth less moral consideration.
Worth less, so
worth less moral consideration. Wow, interesting.
They're worth less moral consideration.
So we're going to write down our best arguments for why humans without the capacity for consciousness are worth less consideration. Moral consideration. You're correct. Ready? Your best reason. I'm going to try to guess the reason that you wrote. Your best reason for believing humans are worth just as much if they have the capacity, if they don't have the capacity for consciousness, is that you believe that it would somehow demean society overall if you treated less conscious people differently from more conscious people. Am I correct?
I mean, it's sort of in the area, but...
Okay, well, let me try again. Oh, yeah. You want to guess mine? What is my best reason for believing that?
Well, it's kind of circular in my head, but I guess you would argue that consciousness imbues you with moral value in a way that its lack does not. But that is kind of circular. I appreciate it.
You are broadly correct, and my argument is broadly circular. It starts with presuppositions.
Yes. Mine is not entirely perfect.
Let me. Can I show you mine?
Yeah. If they are not conscious, then they are human in body only. To be fully human, one must be conscious. One must be aware. Lack of consciousness commands no moral duties. So if you bang your head on the way home tonight and you lose consciousness, you lose your moral worth.
Yeah, I meant in a kind of a permanent thing. So, for example, if we clone Francis without a brain, you can do anything you want to Francis's body.
I mean, it doesn't sound that appealing, to be honest, but...
But there's no...
But there's a very interesting case. I don't know if you've ever heard this case, but it was a woman who died from a type of cancer, very progressive. Black woman in the 1950s in America.
Oh, yeah.
They then took her cells,
yeah.
And then they used it in all these experiments, and they created, marvelous amounts of drugs using her cells, but she never gave permission. Now, is that wrong, considering that she is not conscious? And her family sued and won.
Yeah, I think that's a different issue.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Bracket that. We'll come back to that. I want to see if I can drill down on yours. So, does it have anything to do with the general moral corrosiveness of treating people without consciousness differently?
Can I just tell you mine?
Sure.
So, just show you. Okay.
All people have equal moral worth. Absent God, your penmanship is truly worse than my own. Absent conscious choice.
To the contrary. To demonstrate otherwise.
To demonstrate others. Okay, what do you mean?
Like, if you go and murder 100 people, your moral worth goes down, in my opinion.
But if you're not conscious, how could you be... You're not a moral agent. In the same way that, like, a cockroach or a mollusk isn't a moral agent.
Okay.
So your moral responsibility has to be commensurate with your consciousness.
Yes, but because you are not conscious, you're not able to reduce your... What I'm saying is you start at 100 by virtue of being human.
Yes.
And you can only go down, or up, I guess, to some extent, by virtue of your conscious action. So if you consciously go out and commit a terrorist act, your moral worth goes down. But everybody starts at 100 no matter their consciousness level, in my opinion.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do people suffering from, we no longer call it mental retardation, but that would be the most accurate term. Do they have equal moral responsibility to people who don't suffer from that?
Responsibility goes down at a certain point of IQ or whatever it might be. Yeah, we have the concept of
but intrinsic worth is the same.
The worth is the same.
What about, I don't know if you know Peter Singer, the ethicist, what about people who have IQs under 25?
I don't know what that looks like.
Well, it's pretty grim. They can't wipe themselves. It's pretty grim.
I think they still have the same moral worth. I mean, I don't think you can, just because they can't wipe their own ass, doesn't mean you can go around like kicking them or whatever, because they're not, do you see what I mean? Or mistreating them.
Peter Singer argues basically that you should treat them like pigs or cows.
I mean, I've never wanted to eat someone with an IQ of 25.
No.
Well, maybe it's very tasty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, hey, Reed, we wrap it up now?
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you.
Do these guys want to jump in? Do you want to have a go? You sure? All right.
Thanks for playing, man. I appreciate it. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this today?
I like the game. I wish more random people got involved.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. What'd you think of it?
I really enjoyed it, and I think the thing that I enjoy the most about it is we all have these beliefs or opinions, but it's only actually when you interrogate them do you realize if it's a strongly held belief or is it actually something that you've given enough thought to.
Yeah, I wish more people would do this. I wish educators and people in colleges, universities, and K-12 systems would do this.
Yeah.
It's free, it's easy, it's simple.
I think this is a very powerful tool for educators, particularly, because what it does is it encourages critical thinking skills, which is sorely lacking in our education system.
Yeah, and it you can communicate not necessarily to persuade, although you could do that, but to understand what the position is. So, Triggernometry, fellows, Konstantin, Francis, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Let's keep up the good work. I enjoy watching these. They're a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I enjoy watching them as well. It's a really, really fun way to actually investigate, challenge, and interrogate your own opinions.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.